How much time do you usually allow for your preparation? Do you try to sneak it in just at the end of the week when pressure's on and you have to show up with something? I would suggest you make two decisions. One, the chair that you sit in and the time of the week when you prepare, or the times of the week when you prepare. And I encourage teachers to set aside enough time so that halfway through the week they have a pretty good idea where they're going. Halfway through 3 days ahead of time, that they know. I would like you to know what's your theme, what's your purpose, what's your goal, so that there's time to ruminate, there's time to think through how this is going to work out in the lives of your students. Is it a very, very practical, or is it more theological and you have subpoints and so forth? Is it something that addresses a problem in their lives? So that you can be thinking through where they are. I've given this illustration before, and I just like it. I have a friend, his name is Steve, and he was a member of a Sunday school class, not my Sunday school class, but I happen to be Sunday school superintendent at that church. And Steve worked in a lens grinder's place, and he made glasses. That was his job. And there were 13 other people who worked in that same room all day long, every day, 40 hours a week. And they were all women, and they all had filthy mouths. And all week long, beside the music that went on with their lifestyle, they talked about exploits from last week, whom they were going to sleep with this week. They talked about all sorts of things, and it was tough on him. He liked his job, it made good money. He had been there for a while, he had seniority, but it was hard. If his Sunday school teacher didn't know what Steve was wrestling with, the teacher might never assume that it was that hard on him week after week, day after day, all day long. Maybe you have a student who has a really difficult situation. It might be family, it might be relatives, it might be neighbors, it might be his own personal foibles and who knows what. But you need to be able to prepare your lessons so that it touches where he lives or where she lives. And so I would encourage you to think through where your students are. If you don't know what's going on in their lives, maybe you need to assume that it's worse than you think. They may be upbeat and very happy and delightful to talk to on the day of your class, but the rest of the week for them is very, very difficult. Well, give yourself enough time so that you can do a good job. The average Sunday school teacher spends less than 30 minutes. Surveys show that. They've admitted to me as well that they spend less than 30 minutes in preparation, and they're going to teach for 45 minutes to an hour. Not enough. You need to set aside, I'm just going to encourage you to figure out how to get 2 hours a week in preparation for your class. Just as an aside, I asked a friend of mine who had just written a book. I said, Wes, where do you find the time? You're vice president of your company, and you're a guest speaker at different things during the week. Where do you find the time? He looked at me and he said, Phil, what are you doing at 4:30 in the morning? Well, a real challenge to me. I appreciate his honesty, but I also appreciate his dedication. He wanted to write for a larger group of people than he was touching. And he did a good job. But it took time, and he had to figure out where that time was going to come from. For him, it was 4:30 Wednesday mornings. Where are you going to find the time? Figure out the time and stick as close to it. Maybe make it sacred so that your family knows they can't find you at between such and such a time. Make sure that you do it in the same place. Everybody sits in a chair when they study, I'm sure of that. Nobody makes a lesson standing up. Figure out what, and be regular in that. Build some ritual into your preparation time. Well, I think you'll see the effectiveness. As one of my friends, my fellow professors, Hal Haller, said, the better prepared I am, the more my students pay attention. God bless you much. Have a good day.